What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily Rewind episode 28. We've been doing this for more than half of a year. That's like crazy. I can't even believe it's gone by that quick. And this is where we go back a week. I put all of my tech review news stories into one single episode, so you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to backtrack, you can watch them all in one single video. And it was a great week. If you love or excited about Galaxy, Samsung products, Galaxy S10, we're getting more and more information, more confirmations, have it be about the way it looks. We're getting rendered photos, we're getting specs, we're getting all kinds of information about the Galaxy S10. We talk about the Galaxy Note 9 beta and how that's still going on. You can sign up for it. OnePlus 6T McLaren news, which is going to be a new phone that they're putting out with a massive amount of RAM and a crazy fast charging ability. Anyways, guys, check out the show. Hope you enjoy it. See you down the road. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is Samsung and Verizon have confirmed a 5G compatible smartphone to be released in the first half of 2019. Obviously, this probably means that the Galaxy S10, from what we've been hearing anyway, will be 5G compatible with Verizon, or at least a version of the Galaxy S10 will be. We've heard there's going to be 3 versions, and then there's going to be this 5G version that also comes out slightly later than the first 3 versions of the Galaxy S10, and that 4th version will be compatible with Verizon's 5G network. Or it doesn't look like the 5G compatible phone, at least in the near future, maybe months after the Verizon one, will be compatible with the other carriers here in America. Now, as for the rest of the world, I would assume Korea, which has just launched their 5G network, will end up getting this 5G variant of the Galaxy S10. As for Europe and other parts of Asia, South America, Canada, wherever else, I don't have any other information or rumors or news in those continents or places, so we'll see what happens, but pretty much confirmed a 5G Galaxy S10 on Verizon first half of 2019. Now, the next bit of news is really, really cool, and it goes hand in hand, and it makes complete sense with how the future is going with fingerprint technology. As you know, the Galaxy S10 is rumored to have a fingerprint sensor underneath the display, a la like the OnePlus 6T has, which I have right here. When I want to unlock this phone, which I think it's dead, I need to charge it. You just press on the screen, and it unlocks the phone. That's awesome technology. That's rumored to be in the Galaxy S10. Well, it's also a patent that has been done up by Samsung, where it will be underneath the smartwatch display. So when you have your smartwatch and you want to unlock it, you would just put your finger on there and it would unlock it. That way it keeps your information safe that's on the watch, and it makes it really simple and really easy to unlock this device as well. I love it. I'm super excited about that kind of technology. I don't keep my watch locked anyway by any means. You can't even see it. Boo. But it's still a really cool thing to have, at least if you want to keep it locked, and it's simple and it's easy and it's quick, rather than having to put a code in or whatever else in there, some kind of mark or whatever to unlock it. In-display fingerprint technology on a smartwatch. Give me some more. And the last story of the day is also about the Galaxy S10. It's reported renders and specific size that this phone will come in, and the renders, which I've heard are not completely true. There's some stuff that is a little bit wrong about these, but I'll still show it off. And when you look at these renders, they look a little bit funny, and they look funny if you look at the front of the phone, where it has in the top right that cutout, which is kind of bigger than what I was expecting on the display. You don't have a notch, but you have a black cutout in the top right for the camera, and then you have the small bezels at the top and then slightly larger bezel at the bottom, and it doesn't look good to me. I can't imagine that would look great when you watch videos or anything like that. I just feel like it would get in the way, and it doesn't look great. When you look at the back, that to me looks somewhat correct. That's what we're expecting, is the cameras to be all aligned like they are on the Galaxy Note 9, and no fingerprint sensor on the back because that's supposed to be underneath the display. And so the back, again, looks completely fine with me. The front, I don't like, and that's what I believe is incorrect about this, at least from what Ice Universe has said. Ice Universe put out a tweet, and I have to agree with them, saying that the Galaxy S10 rendered photo is great, but unfortunately many of it is wrong. So he's saying obviously seeing if much of it is wrong, obviously there's going to be some other stuff that's wrong other than what that camera shows in the top right. But that is the latest render and specific specs of what this is going to look like for the Galaxy S10 Plus. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about Epic, who made the game Fortnite, which is still one of the biggest, if not the biggest, game out right now. And it looks like they're opening their own game store for Android and PC. So they'll be taking on Steam, because almost everybody buys their games through Steam at this point. And then on Android, I would probably say 99.99999% of people get their apps through the Google Play Store. And it looks like they're coming out with their own store. It looks like it's probably just going to be games. Maybe it'll be apps as well. But definitely games. Obviously, Fortnite will be in there. And you'll be able to install that store on your Android phone or PC. And the reason they're doing this, obviously, is to, create their own income or another revenue of income. And it's good for developers. They're getting 88% of revenue share, whereas on Android, I think it's like 65 or 60-40 or something like that, or 70-30. So it's a little bit higher on their new store. But anyways, if you're looking forward to this, it should be out fairly soon. And again, Epic, the guys that made Fortnite, are doing this. Next up, AT&T has officially come out and said that a Samsung 5G phone will come out in the first half of 2019. And if you're thinking about this, this is most likely, you have to put your money on it, the Samsung Galaxy S10. So if you were looking for the 5G version, originally it was sounding and looking like it was only going to come out on Verizon. It also looks like it's going to come out on AT&T as well. Those will be the first two carriers that ultimately come out with 5G, followed by T-Mobile and then Sprint sometime down the road as well. They don't have huge 5G markets, AT&T. AT&T, it looks like they only have like 10 or 12 markets right now that have 5G, and then that'll expand to like up to 19 by the midway point of 2019. So even if you do get this Galaxy S10 5G version of the phone, you might not even be able to use 5G because it's probably not even where you are. So waiting for 5G is going to be the thing, unless you're going to keep this phone forever or for a long time, then you'll probably be worth the investment. But regardless, still good news that the 5G variant probably of the Galaxy S10 is coming to AT&T as well in the first half of 2019. And the last story of the day is that the Android Pie Beta Samsung One UI build is now officially able to be downloaded on the Galaxy Note 9. Now, I have the unlocked version. I still believe it's only the unlocked versions of this phone. I've been reading some comments on websites and forums, and it looks like some people that have AT&T can't get it, even though they could sign up for the beta. I was able to sign up today. I was also able to download it. It's actually downloading right now. I'll do a video tomorrow on it. And so it looks like people talked to the Samsung reps on the Samsung website, and they said it was really more for people that had, I believe it was T-Mobile and T-Mobile and Sprint. So if you want to sign up for the Samsung One UI Android Pie Beta build, I'll link it down below. I have a video on it. Just follow the steps. It's really, really easy, and you could be on your way to trying out the latest version of the Samsung One UI on your Note 9. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about the next OnePlus phone. Now, if you're into the OnePlus phones, that OnePlus, whatever, have it be a 7 or 6T Extra, whatever they end up calling it, will be the very first phone with the Snapdragon 855. This will be the first time that a Snapdragon 800 series phone has not launched with a Samsung phone. So you're looking at OnePlus being the very first phone to do this. Now, if you think about that, Samsung's phone, the Galaxy S10, is rumored to be coming out in March of 2019, meaning this OnePlus phone is going to be either coming out in January or February of 2019, or maybe a week before. Maybe it'll still come out in March, but a little bit before the Galaxy S10 phone is. Just based off performance, you're going to get a 20% performance boost over the Snapdragon 845 and 40% better battery life, performance management with that over the Snapdragon 845. So pretty good leaps over the last generation of processor. Next up, if you use Google Allo, which is a messaging service from Google, which is actually my absolute favorite. I love Google Allo. Looks like it's going away, and that's the rumor right now. Google hasn't officially come out and said this, but Google Allo should be very soon, it sounds like, going away and to never come back, and they're putting all their resources into Android messages, which is going to be receiving RCS messaging, and it has occasionally in certain markets and certain carriers as well, which allows you to send bigger files and see if someone's typing back, you know, kind of like the iMessage type features that are out with Apple. Google's slowly getting there with Android messages, but ultimately Google Allo, it looks like the team is pretty much disbanded at this point, and a lot of their key programmers have already been moved over to Android messages. And the last story of the day is AT&T has come out and announced that a second Samsung phone will also be 5G compatible, this time in the second half of 2019. And let me think what that could mean. Galaxy Note 10, yes, most likely. So you're looking at the Galaxy Note 10 having 5G built right into it. And it's not a surprise if the Galaxy S10 is going to have it, or at least a variant of the Galaxy S10 is going to have 5G built into it. You can bet your bottom dollar that the Galaxy Note 10 is going to have it as well. Galaxy Note 10, you're looking at probably coming out in August, maybe September of 2019. And that obviously is the second half of that year. So let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about OnePlus. Now, the other day, I think it was yesterday, we talked about OnePlus releasing a 5G variant of their phone in early 2019, and it'll also have Snapdragon 855 in it. Well, the rumors are actually coming out to be true about this phone anyways, about the 5G variant. And Peter Lau, who is head of that company right now, has come out and said that the 5G variant of the OnePlus will end up costing $200 to $300 more than what the phones cost now. That's putting that phone up to $900 at that point. Well, yeah, $700-800 at that point, which is very expensive, and puts it in the same league as the other phones on the market, having be like the lower end iPhones in terms of storage, Samsung phones, Pixel phones, all those devices right there. And at that point, would you buy that device when it doesn't have stereo speakers, it doesn't have a 2K display, doesn't have any dust or water resistance? It's kind of I mean, at that point, just get the 4G phone, which should stay in that $500 range. And plus, 5G is not even everywhere right now anyway. It's going to take years for that to eventually happen. So kind of bad news and very expensive news at that. Next up, we have some leaked benchmarks of the Exynos 9820, which will be in the Galaxy S10, and also the Snapdragon 855, which will also be in the Galaxy S10. It just depends where you live. America, I know for sure, is going to get the Snapdragon version. A lot of the rest of the world, Europe, some of the Asian countries are also going to get the Exynos processor. And it looks like the Snapdragon 855 is outperforming the Exynos 9820. Now you can take a look right here. So in the orange is the Exynos 9820, and then in the blue is the Snapdragon 855, and just jumping around, you can see that in almost every single score, maybe except for memory and UX, you can see CPU beat it. The Snapdragon beat it at 119650 to 102879. GPU, it beat it again, 142048 to 137332, and then also it beat it in, I don't even know what that last one is, but it beat it. I guess that's overall score, maybe 343051, 325067. And then you can also see how it performed versus the Snapdragon 845 as well, just to see the big gains it has now over that processor as well. Now, don't be too concerned with these scores. In day-to-day usage, they're probably both going to feel almost exactly the same. And even if it doesn't feel exactly the same, they're still going to be very fast processors, faster than last gens. So any performance gains will be probably slightly noticeable anyway. At this point, UI stuff, when you're just jumping around the operating system, is pretty, like I said, you don't see huge differences. Gaming and things like that, you might see some slight differences as well. But overall, it's still nice to see that both processors are going to have sizable gains over last year's. And the last story of the day comes from Ice Universe. Ice Universe is amazing, always putting out cool leaks. And this one is about the Galaxy S10, one with the dual camera, to kind of be the one middle of the road. And you can see it's not a huge change in terms of the back design versus what we get with the Galaxy Note 9, even though this is the S10 version of the phone. But you can see it has, it's like basically a case, but you'll see the cutouts with the dual cameras, the flash, and then the heart rate sensor monitor. Other than that, it's not really much to see on here. You still have all the same buttons, the power button, volume keys, and then the Bixby button on the other side. But again, still cool to see what it will look like. And my deal of the day, I haven't done this in a while, but it's my absolute favorite gadget of 2018 is the Lenovo Smart Display 10-inch version. It's only 160 bucks on Best Buy. It's linked down below. It's my favorite because it's a Google Assistant with a screen on it, with a really nice speaker, and you got to check it out. It's a really cool device, especially if you're looking for Christmas gifts for yourself or for somebody else. It's a really nice gift to give people. Let's get into the news. Let's first do some house cleaning because we've had some stories the last couple of days. One about Google Allo being shut down, we just didn't know exactly when. And also we had a story about the OnePlus, next OnePlus phone having the first processor to be have the Snapdragon 855. So let's talk about the Snapdragon 855 story. So the story was OnePlus is going to be the first phone company to have a Snapdragon 855. That has turned out to be not true. It was a miscommunication at the conference they were talking about. So that's the OnePlus will be one of the first phones to have a Snapdragon 855, not the first. The first will probably still end up being the Samsung Galaxy S10. As for Google Allo, which is a messaging app, we talked about it shutting down sometime in 2019. They've come out and officially said it's going to be March of 2019. You will be able to export your chats, and I don't know where you're going to import them into, maybe to save them, because what app would you import them into? But ultimately, you can export your chats, March 2019, closing down. I'm actually really upset about this. I love Google Allo, and I want something very similar. If you guys have any ideas, leave them in the comments down below. What's your favorite chat app? I don't know. I like the auto reply, the smart auto replies. I like, easily adding GIFs and easily adding videos, and it shows previews for the videos. There's a lot of cool stuff about it. It just sucks that most people didn't use it. But again, March 2019, Google Allo is completely gone. Next up, Sam Mobile has confirmed that in Germany and in India, if you have the Galaxy Note 9, you can still sign up for the beta version, which is Android Pie, Samsung One UI, which is out right now if you wanted to download it. There's not too many bugs, just little stupid little bugs that won't really affect you that big a deal, at least it shouldn't. America, not so sure. I already have it, so I can't double check. But if you have the unlocked version of the Galaxy Note 9, you're in America, try to get it going. I'll put a video down below on how to sign up for it. It's really simple, and people that have the Galaxy Note 9 beta version for Android Pie, I did a video on it earlier today on if you can use it as your daily driver. Watch that video as well. Again, I'll link that down below as well. And the last story of the day is about the OnePlus 6 McLaren edition. We talked about this phone having 10 gigabytes of RAM. We didn't really know much more about it. Well, photos of it have leaked out, and you can see it is a black phone with an orange trim. So a little bit of a different look to it. If you like orange trims, I think it looks okay. I'm not wowed by it. I'd probably just rather have the black phone, but it's also been confirmed to have Warp Charge 30, which basically gives you a day's power in 20 minutes. I doubt, man, day's power, that's pushing it, but it looks like you can get a day's power in 20 minutes. 10 gigabytes of RAM has been confirmed, and it's inspired by McLaren, which is a sports car. Let's get into the news. We only have one story, and it comes from Evan Blass, who's been a major leaker in the community, and I've used his stories a lot in the past as well. Well, on Twitter, he put out a new tweet showing the Galaxy S10 Lite, the middle range one, and the S10 Plus. Let's check these out. So from left to right, you see the S10 Lite, also known as the Beyond Zero, and the model number that is SMG 970F with a 5.8-inch flat display. Then you have the S10, which is the Beyond 1, SMG 973F with a 6.1-inch curved display. Lastly, we have the S10 Plus, Beyond 2, SMG 97F 6.4-inch display. At the top, you see, and this has been going back and forth, where the camera on the front is either in the top left or top right or the middle. This one, based off of the case manufacturer's photos, is in the middle, and you can see that the first two phones, the Lite and the regular S10, have one camera. On the S10 Plus, it has two cameras, so it's looking like it's going to have two cameras. I'm assuming that the second camera up there, if it's used for taking photos, is probably going to be wide angle, which if that happens, I'll be very excited. That's one of my favorite features about the Pixel. S3 phone is the wide-angle front-facing camera. I love it. Other than that, you see on the regular S10 Lite, you're going to get a single camera on the front and a single rear camera on the back. I don't have a photo of that, but it will be a single rear camera. Also, on the S10, the regular version, you're going to get a single selfie camera, and then on the back, dual rear cameras. One will be a regular, one will be a telephoto. That's going to match what you get with the Galaxy Note 9 and the S9 Plus. And then lastly, the S10 Plus version is going to have dual selfie cameras, and then in the back, triple rear cameras consisting of regular, telephoto, and wide angle. So you're gonna get that nice wide angle lens to capture more information, have it be for videos or photos. Think GoPro, but not as extreme, obviously, probably. But still, I love wide angle cameras. I'm glad they're introducing this. LG phones already have something that is wide angle, and for Samsung to add it is just a major plus. Now, as for when this phone should be introduced, it should be introduced in February at MWC Mobile World Congress. So you're looking at February, which is about 2 months from where we sit right now. It's towards the end of February, if I'm not mistaken. So really 2.5 months until you actually see that phone in person. Next, after that, you're looking at a release date, most likely in March. I believe all this matches up with what it did last year, if I'm not mistaken again. So you're looking at March release date for the Galaxy S10, all those lines, and then a 5G version maybe also in March or April at that point. Awesome. I don't know what more to say about this. I'm getting very excited about this phone. Snapdragon 855, which outperforms the 845 and the Exynos processor. That's awesome. You're looking at possibly more RAM, or at least equal RAM what you get in the Galaxy Note 9, which is going to be 8 gigabytes of RAM. Also, you're looking at triple cameras if you get the S10 Plus, wide angle cameras. You're looking just a better overall performing phone. You're looking at better cameras. You're looking at better pizza, better ingredients. Papa John's, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about the Pixel 3 Lite and the Pixel 3 XL Lite. Now, I don't know if these are going to be the official names, but these are going to be like slightly less versions of the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL. Cheaper prices, lesser specs, and we have a look at both of the devices based off some renders. Now, the design for the Pixel 3 XL Lite looks very similar to the Pixel 3, and so does the Pixel 3 XL Lite. They both have they have big bezels at the top and at the bottom, no notch. So if you're a no notch kind of person, you're gonna have that. And then the back, single camera, fingerprint sensor, and the flash. Gonna be, if they're light phones, obviously you're probably looking at not gonna have wireless charging or water resistance, or if they do, it's gonna be lesser than what we have had in the current phones. Also, for processor, the rumored processors are a 670 in the 5.5-inch Pixel 3 Lite, and then in the 6-inch 3XL Lite, you're looking at a Snapdragon 710 processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 12 megapixel camera on the rear, 8 on the front, and 32 gigabytes of internal storage, and possibly a 64 gigabyte internal storage one. So if you always wanted the Pixel, but you just didn't want to pay the Pixel price, you'll be able to pick up these phones. We don't know exactly how much money and exactly when. The rumored release date has been sometime maybe in late 2018 or early 2019. Price-wise, I would hope they would get this below 500. We'll have to wait and see if they end up doing that. As for anything else, we'll have to wait and see. And our last story of the day is about the Galaxy S10. It's the feature probably a lot of people want. I love the convenience of having this, and it's based off of a case that's made for the Galaxy S10, and it shows us that the Galaxy S10 line of phones will have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and that's sure to make people very happy about this. And it's not really that big a surprise. It's been rumored to have it anyway, and the inclusion of a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, I personally don't need it that much. When I listen to audio, like I say all the time, generally when I'm about to go to sleep, and it's just because it's easier. I don't have to charge up some Bluetooth headphones. But regardless, it's cool that it has it. It's a nice convenience feature, and it's one of the last flagship phones to actually have a headphone jack. So 2 thumbs up, Samsung, for including it in the new Galaxy S10 phones. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day. My question now to you guys is, do you still use the headphone jack in your phone? Let me know in the comments down below. Or is it mostly Bluetooth, or maybe use USB-C headphones? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm basically exclusively Bluetooth at this point. That's just me, though. See you guys down the road.